All right, so in this video, I want to talk about a riddle. I'm going to do an archaeology topic, but for y'all smart folks, for y'all critical thinkers, for y'all who are willing to challenge yourselves and think outside the box and do so without feeling uncomfortable, this is the perfect riddle for you. Please leave your answers in the comments or questions and feedback. I'd love to hear it. So I've spent a lot of time traveling to Mexico, focusing on archaeology mainly. Uh, Anywhere from Nayarit through Jalisco, Michoacan, from there going all the way up to, I know there's some pyramids up in Zacatecas, I just haven't made it out that way yet. Yet is the key word. So from Michoacan to Mexico City, to Hidalgo, to Puebla, después de Puebla to Veracruz, Tabasco, Chiapas, Campeche, Yucatan, Quintana Roo, and then going to Central America, right? Like Guatemala, El Salvador. All these places have very distinct archaeological sites that pertain to the ancient indigenous people of this continent, which would be the indigenous native Mexicans. Sorry, I don't know if my nose is running. Probably because I just came back from the beach. So, this is a great riddle that I want to throw at you guys. So, I've been to many of these pyramid archaeological sites in Mexico. And one of the most fascinating things that just keeps my mind thinking throughout these years, and I just can't put my finger on it or can't even get close to an answer, is a huge 168-ton sculpture that's in Mexico City. It's a single piece, not multiple pieces. Let me make this clear, right? It's not just 50 pieces put together, just a single piece to precision. Huge 168-ton sculpture of what looks to be an ancestor. Some people have their own interpretations of it. There's sayings that it could be perceived to be the god of rain, which would be Tlaloc. I use air quotes because nobody's alive from those times, so we're really just making our best educated guesses with everything we've come across. But every time I would go to that museum or every time I would visit Mexico City, I couldn't help myself, but I would just take trips out to that sculpture. It's right in front of the National Anthropology Museum. It's really like a hall where all these beyond belief sculptures and pieces of all types of all sizes and shapes are stored. So it's pretty much a storage for sacred relics. I don't know why the word museum is used, but continue. So that sculpture, I would go out there sometimes morning or night, and I would just sit there for a while and just try to think and go through scenarios on what I think is going on here. But if the indigenous Mexican people who were building pyramids before the time of Christ, so we're dating back 2025 years back and further, some archaeological records suggest it could be 2,000 years before that or 3,000 or plus. It's so hard to go back in time. You'll never be able to, right? So you're just making your best, you're using your best information, your best research, and you're putting it together, and you're just throwing a hypothesis out there. But nothing is set in stone. The stones don't lie, but people do. So that's in a time when we didn't have horses, mules, roads, cars, technology. Allegedly didn't have those things. How in the world are we moving? First of all, you don't, the resources it takes to have engineers come together and say we want this as a possibility, let alone accomplishing it, but just saying that this is something we're going to work towards and we're going to put our resources towards in a time where formal education, I would like to say, allegedly says that we weren't as sophisticated that we weren't achieving things like that. And if so, it was with, then there goes the propaganda, a little bit of gossip, throw some dirt, doesn't hurt to throw a little bit of mud in the water if you're the formal institution and these stones and sculptures and archaeological sites don't match up with what you're saying, it doesn't hurt to throw mud in that water. If you're a person who's always trying to one up another culture, if you're a culture that's trying to do that, if you're an establishment that's trying to do that, a society that's at peace with themselves and has a healthy balance with life and death and the realities of life is not going to do that. Isn't going to be playing some games between cultures and trying to erase history or block out information because it might paint them in a brighter picture than whatever this establishment would like to have people perceive it as. So that stone sculpture was moved from a city nearby Mexico City. It was brought from there to actual Mexico City without the consent of the locals. You could look into it. There's some cool short documentaries about that, how the locals fought back. Unfortunately, when the military shows up with assault rifles, it's a different conversation. Now, let's fast forward to this era. Here in Los Angeles, we have the LA County Museum of Art. Pretty much colonialist art, but of art allegedly, just canvas art and stuff that's not gonna last. So there was one artist, I forget his name, but I think he's a gentleman who attended Berkeley, California, but he used that LA County Museum of Art. There was a lot in the back, and he was able to use that space to put an art exhibit, to install an art installation, right? This is where I believe that things from a higher, maybe plane or a spiritual realm or just something that we can't comprehend or articulate, this is where I think these things tend to use art to trickle away through our reality and maybe give us a little bit of a help. So this art exhibit chose I think it was 340 ton stone of granite from a local quarry here near Riverside, maybe Riverside, but near Riverside that I've been to. 340 tons is exactly let me take that back, maybe not exactly, but approximately half of the weight of what the sculpture in Mexico City is, which is around 168 tons. It took us, these are the details I would like for you to start going through your own head and seeing how this math or how this equation shapes up for yourself. It took them 105 miles, 10 nights, 22 cities, a football field sized truck with 206 wheels on it, and they had to build a 456-foot concrete trench to house just the stone. It's not in the shape of George Washington or Jesus Christ or any type of propaganda that would be favorable to this establishment or established way of rules or thinking, this culture. It took them, I would like for you guys to go on YouTube and see that video of it being done and just see the effort and resources it took in this era, this generation, how much resources it took us to get that done. Okay, and we barely got it done and we didn't even shape it. This is something that came from a quarry. It's not shaped right, it's rough, and it just set in stone with some support beams, done. That's not moving anywhere. As long as you're alive in the next 100 years, feel free to come travel and visit the LA County Museum of Art. It's called Levitated Mass, and you'll see that 340-ton stone. Now, I want you guys to come to your own conclusions without feeling that somebody else is telling you this, without feeling that I'm telling you this. I want you to try to put yourself in that time, then put yourself in the shoes you're in today, and see how is it that two eras so far apart are able are able to push the boundaries of physics, the boundaries of engineering, stonework? How is it that we can't? I used to work, by the way, at a granite store. What they would do is they would sell slabs for like countertops. So there was be granite, basalt, marble. There was never any sculptures made out of basalt or granite because of the difficulty, because of the hardness, the resources it takes. That's why most of them are made out of marble or easier materials, or why not just make a cast out of concrete? I want you guys to come to that conclusion on your own. Is why is it that in this era, 2025, you could go to any granite store around your neighborhood, just Google granite shop, basalt shop, give them a call, or show up in person, better yet, and ask them if they can make a sculpture of your mother or of your father, someone you love, but you want it specifically made out of granite, basalt, andesite. Please do that for yourself, not for me. And when you see that, they're going to look at you funny and be like, we can't do that, man. I got some marble sculptures if you're interested at best. Then come back to me. Then come talk to me like, wait a second. So the Mohs scale has basalt, granite, anywhere from 5 to 7, right? There's a spectrum. How is it that we're finding these granite, basalt sculptures in Mexico, in Peru, in Egypt, Indonesia, even Japan? I've seen a few, but the point being is this: there's some lost, old, ancient civilization that we know very little of, if not enough, next to nothing. They were able to achieve what we can't do today, and they were clearly doing it to show us the capacity, not the limit, just the capacity of what they could do, because I think they were able to achieve much greater things than that. I think that they had a far more sophisticated culture, society, universities, hospitals, education system. All that was in their own time far more sophisticated than what they've been given credit for. So the riddle for this video, and my favorite sculpture, this piece, what is called, air quotes, Tlaloc, which would be the rain god of Mexico. But this is just perceived again, which is why, hence the air quotes. I can't shake that riddle from my head, and I would like to see some of your guys' conclusions. What do you think this could be? Just using basic math and resources and timelines. Keep in mind with what they had in that time, and please do not go far-fetched the ideas. Don't tell me that some alien came from planet Klingon and he came on his little saucer and he helped us. Because if I was an alien coming from these far distances with advanced engineering crafts, I'm probably going to build that backwards just to show off. Maybe make a pyramid on its nose going up, which would defy the laws of physics and just leaving us baffled, right? But it's not. This is all within the realms of reality and human capabilities. So again, I'd like to leave you with that riddle for tonight. I'll end that video on that note. Again, the main points are going to be in there. Rewind and fast forward to whichever is key for you. And I would love to hear your comments down in the bottom.